Good morning, gentlemen. Tuesday morning. I wake up to another defeat this morning. Um, I hate this. I hate this fantasy year. Nonetheless, Commissioner duty. Before I head out of town, wanted to go ahead and do a little recap from this past week. Talk a little bit about the trades last night and how Commissioner 2B, aka the Hurricane, aka doesn't know the rules, aka can't do a spreadsheet correctly, missed half to my trade. Made me look bad. Nonetheless, we know what happened. And yeah, just a few little sidebars as well, I guess. So, hop right into it. First game, Rectal Renegades squeaked by Forte Yard Dash, 111 to 102. What a pitiful week. He can thank a couple things. One, he can thank Jamal Charles, nearly 30 points, a fantastic week for him. Maurice Jones-Drew, nearly 16 points this week. He hasn't scored 16 points combined in 2.5 games, I don't think. No, Andy, I think he even scored a touchdown. So Maurice Jones-Drew on the board, possibly getting a few things happening. Exploded through that Denver defense, and actually looked like the runner he did a few years ago. So looks solid. And Rectal Renegades won without Peyton Manning scoring 40 points on top of that. So, good, decent week for Rectal. He also didn't even start a player and still beat me. That's how bad it's getting. However, if I would have made one change and started Heath Miller over Greg Olsen, I would have won. Nonetheless, Amendola, 2 points. See ya, you're off my team. You're going over to Derek Lehman, a.k.a. I forget your team. A.k.a. the guy who has him now. Torrey Smith, breakout candidate of the week, according to every single fantasy person in the world, 2.2 points. The rest of my team did decent. At least they were in double figures for the most part. I just couldn't do anything. I can't do anything. I'm horrible. Somehow I'm still in this, whatever, divisional, possibly championship. I can't do anything. Duke's leading our division right now. That's what it's coming down to. Rectal Renegades win. I did not pick that. Next, I Love Mike Ditka gets off the schneid and gets off of it big time. 170.92 points. Holy cow. He can thank none other than Stephen Ridley, Denarius Moore, Kyle Rudolph, Marshawn Lynch, and Matthew Stafford. I guess all those guys heard me talk about how horrible their contracts were during their games on Sunday and decided to pull through and actually do something this year for them. His big pickup of the week, Austin Pettis, 2.2, so really didn't pan out quite as well. James Jones got hurt this week, so he only had 2 points. Nonetheless, Ditka pulls off the highest score of the week and his first win over the final Ansa, who, believe it or not, actually had a pretty decent week as well. Arian Foster almost 24, Flacco over 24, a lot of that just throwing the ball all over, trying to catch up near garbage time. Fitzgerald had the long touchdown pass that helped out. And Mason Crosby, 20 points for a kicker. So, I mean, overall, 136 points. Not a bad week at all. Actually, one of the best weeks the Final Answer has had, and I think almost doubled up what his total was last week. Unfortunately, not enough to keep Ditka from getting his first W, and keeps his eyes on the prize of the championship. Next game. Oh, and I did pick that one correctly, by the way. Next game, we have Unnecessary Fisting and the Vinegar Strokes. I picked this one correct in the mini upset. Unnecessary Fisting takes his first loss of the year. I have a feeling he's going to be getting a few more of these because his schedule starts to get a little bit more difficult now. Vinegar Strokes, 160 points, the second highest score of the week. A lot of his trades started to pan out well for him. He had Deshaun Jackson in, nearly 25 points. Blackman, he's just been a man since he's came back. 33. A.J. Green, 22. Then he ships him off. See you later. He'll be going over to Andy's team shortly. Was hurt by DeMarco Murray a little bit, even though he already put up 13 points before he left. And Andrew Luck had his worst game of the season with 8, yet he still put up that many points. Andy, Reggie Bush did his job. Brandon Marshall did his job. So basically the NFC Norris tried to lead the way for him. But as Tony Romo and Dez Bryant go, his team goes. They put up a combined 19 points instead of 80 points, and it equaled a loss for him. I know he has been shopping a little bit Tavon Austin with probably good reason. Another 1-point game for him. Randall Cobb injured, so this is why he made the trade. He went ahead and traded Doug Martin, who just put up 13, over to Eric for A.J. Green. They both need a running back, wide receiver, vice versa. So they did the swap, both on one-year contracts. Doesn't hurt them long-term whatsoever. Just helps them out this year. Nonetheless, I picked that. Vinegar Strokes over Fisting, 2-1. Next game, Pierce Brosnan over the Prodigy. Another victory for myself. Brought my total of 3-1 there. 130-94. The Prodigy continues to struggle. He has now dropped to 1-5, while Pierce just continues to just dominate his opponents, up to 5-1, while not ever putting up a huge week. Couple key players that worked out this one. The Prodigy continues to throw out Trent Richardson, 6 points this week. I'm highly considering cutting bait if I'm you within the next few weeks. Eddie Royal, I remember that big pickup, 0.4 points. Alshon Jeffrey didn't put up 30-something odd points this week, so that didn't help. Gronkowski is still refusing to play. I think he has a bye next week, and I'm pretty sure Doug still doesn't have a tight end. So that continued positional loss of points is hurting him. Dustin had 2 zeros, yet still won. He had 2 zeros out of Miles Austin and Brandon Myers. Jordy Nelson, Drew Brees, each over 20. But the big surprise, who continues to be a big surprise, for me anyways, Knowshon Moreno, nearly 36 points, put up 3 touchdowns, all running the ball, which I thought was going to be a good thing because Manning wasn't throwing them, but Moreno was continuing to run them in. Emmanuel Sanders had a huge touchdown grab. I believe that one touchdown pass netted him about 14 of his 16 points. Jordy Nelson will start to see even more targets for him in the future because of all the other injuries with Jones and Cobb. Spiller continues to be just an average, below average running back fantasy-wise. So again, another person who might think about getting rid of one of their players on the cheap. But nonetheless, 5-1 beats 1-5, and I'm 3-1. And I'm going to the next game, Duke and Team 10. I picked Duke in this one, so I'm now 4-1. Not that it really matters that much, but Duke is now first in the West with a 3-3 record and the least amount of points in our division. I nothing else to say to that. Team 10, hurt by the injury bug. Cecil Shorts, 0, hurt pretty much in the first possession. Then he had multiple players, in fact, 1, 2, 3 others that scored 2.1 or less, including Colston, Selleck, and then Ivory as well. He only had 4 people in double figures. You're not going to win a game like that. And as we've talked about, he's already preparing for the future. I don't see a lot of fight out of Team 10 for later on. Duke, even though he hit Calvin in, who had just probably was his worst game of the season with just over 5. Vernon Davis just decided to come alive. Kaepernick decided to learn how to throw the ball again, and it happened with 38 points for Vernon. Cutler, almost 25. He's actually becoming one of the bargain quarterbacks. I know I'm a Chicago fan, I'm biased. I believe he's only costing him $5, and he's been putting up 250-plus yard games pretty consistently with a couple touchdowns. So, nice pickup there. Duke continues to... another one who just squeaks by his opponents whenever he plays them, or else gets the luck of the schedule makers. Nonetheless, he's 3-3 in first place. Team 10 continues to drop 1-5, I believe. Yeah, 1-5, pretty low. And finally, to take care of my 5-1 week, the Fence Hopper took care of Dutch Oven. This was, you know, whether the records say it or not, I think this was a pretty big upset. I really like Dutch Oven's team. Fence Hopper's continuing to mess around with this team, but he won without some normal type help. Peterson only put up 11, Aaron Rodgers 18. But in order for him to win, he had to have other people step up, which Vincent Jackson did, over 32, and Keenan Allen over 26. So I went ahead and traded for both of those players, so I will now have them. He was looking for some tight end help. He's going to possibly get a little bit of that with Fleener. and got Amendola PPR machine. When Gronkowski comes back, he's going to be helped out. So maybe this helps Fence Hopper in the long run. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe he's equal. Nonetheless, still in first place. Still taking down the Vinegar Strokes. And Dutch Oven, I mean, he had almost 37 from Newton. Gio Bernard, 22. Antonio Brown, 18. He had some great games. However, Jimmy Graham put up a big 0 and is now injured. So, listening on Fantasy Football Radio yesterday, he was going through x-rays, he was going through MRIs. There should be some results coming very soon, but something to keep your eye on. Nonetheless, 147, 139 in one of our closest matchups of the week. And basically what happened was last night we had Woodhead and Allen going against T.Y. Hilton, and Fence Hopper overcame that huge by putting up almost 39 points in comparison to Hilton with 9. So, as a recap, I went 5-1. Just to go over a little bit divisional type standings. In the North, we have Fisting 5-1, followed by the Prodigy and Team 10, both 1-5. I don't know how you would possibly lose that division. That division is horrible. In the South, Rectal Renegades and Pierce Brosnan, both 5-1, and then the final ANSA, 2-4. Also, as a part of that, the Rectal Renegades have scored the most amount of points in the league with 935. Congratulations so far. In the East, we have Fence Hopper, 5-1, Vinegar Strokes 4-2, and I Love Mike Dicka, he's going to still win the championship at 1-5. And in the West, 3-3 Duke leads away. Oh gosh. Forte Yardash and then Dutch Oven both at 2-4. Kind of a fun fact, not really fun for Scott. He has 912 points, which is 4th in the league, but only off of first by about 23 points. He is 2-4. Jason's 5-1. Andy's 5-1. And then Eric's 4-2. Those are all the teams that have more points than him. So he is definitely getting hurt by the schedule makers. The people who have had the most points scored against him, I Love My Dicka, 888, followed by Dutch Oven at 856, and then myself at 832. So it makes a difference who you play so far and who you don't. Obviously, schedule stuff was not done on purpose by any means, or else I wouldn't screw myself as hard as I've just gotten screwed. Going into next week, we do have a couple, semi-big type battles. Unnecessary Fisting and Pierce Brosnan going in it again. So Andy's schedule is going to start to get tougher. We'll see if Pierce can step up here and take him down, and take down and make the records more equivalent. Rectal Renegades against the Prodigy. We probably know how that one's going to go. I Love Mike Dicka against Duke. If Dicka's going to continue to make his run, he's going to have to take down the #1 seed in the West right now. Vinegar Strokes and Dutch Oven is probably going to be the game of the week, more than likely. And we have Team 10 in the Fence Hopper, which I like Fence Hopper's chances to continue to lead the East. And then Forte or Dash the final answer, and I'm trying to place a side bet with Mike on that. So just a little Tuesday morning, hey, how you doing type deal. I got to take off. Fun Monday night of trades. I'm still looking for different ideas for wording to put in that square portion of the trophy that we have all picked out. I haven't ordered it yet because I'm waiting on that. As I said, I can just put something very generic down, but I thought we wanted to make it a little bit fun. So give me your ideas on that. Feel free to post below. Talk to y'all soon.